Hey, what's up, y'all? I know everyone out there is recording and producing their own podcast, but I'm going to encourage everyone out there to download this free Anchor app. Yes, I said it, free. You can record and produce your very own podcast right then and there on your phone. It's very convenient. You can take it to go. You can do your podcast anywhere and everywhere. I mean, that's dope, man. I'm doing it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I downloaded the app. But like I said, download the free app, the free Anchor app, and start recording your podcast, just like me. Peace.
Yo, yo.
There it is. There it is. There it is. Yeah, we
had to,
got him.
had to jump through a couple hoops, man, but made it happen.
There you go. Oh man, thank you. Thank you for joining me.
Absolutely, brother. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. It's fucking raining out here. Same shit over there.
Oh, absolutely, man. A bunch of rivers as I went to the store earlier. So yeah, it's a mess. There's leaves everywhere and floods everywhere, but we needed the
Yeah,
rain, so it's all good. I didn't have no other
yeah.
plans of leaving the house anyway, so we good.
Yeah, I know. It's nothing ain't too bad, we needed the rain, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just glad it's on a Sunday. I have nothing to do. When I have stuff to do, it sucks, but it is what it
Right,
is. It's part
right
of life.
on. Yep, yep. Um, yeah, man. I'll introduce you in a sec. But
Okay.
welcome everyone to the podcast. Where's my damn podcast? I am your host. Yes, yes, y'all. The host with the most, Elvin Maglinte. So hopefully, everyone's staying safe out there, staying dry, staying warm, whatever the case may be. But yeah, but I'm very excited to have this guest um, uh, uh, for this episode. Yeah, I'm very excited to have him on. I've known him for a minute, um, and man, we go pretty far um, over the years. But yeah, everyone, welcome in my next guest, Mr. Jason Gulley.
Oh yeah. What up, everyone? How's
That's
everyone doing on this fine Sunday?
right, right. Man, yeah, man, it's shit like a lot of shit going on in the world, man. It's we're living in some crazy times right now.
Oh, it's the weirdest
Yeah,
ever.
pretty pretty weird. Um, but man, like I don't know if you caught that on the news. Debo from from Friday passed away, right?
Yeah, yeah. Tommy Lester, known as
Yeah,
Tiny. I
yeah,
remember he was Zeus on WWF back in the day.
yeah. I
Uh,
remember that too. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's
it's
crazy.
yeah. My daughter texted me and let me know, and it was shitty to hear about that because I never got to meet him, but enjoyed his entertainment, and of course being Debo in the movie Friday. There was always a
Right.
Debo in every neighborhood. Trust me, we had our share where I grew up. So, you know, I
Right.
swear where I lived, it was like the movie Friday. So, yeah, no, rest in peace to Tiny. He
Yeah.
definitely made
R.I.P.
us all
Tiny
laugh.
man.
What
Yeah.
bike? You know,
That's pretty crazy. I'm not sure if it was COVID related or not. I didn't really looked into it. But I mean, I don't know. But you know, I don't know if he had any health issues, prior to that or whatever. But man, that's 62, I believe. I mean, that's kind of it's kind of young still.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and he looked like he was in good shape too. It didn't look like he was frail or old looking. I mean, and you could tell he worked out and probably stayed healthy. But yeah, there was no
Yeah,
word
yeah.
on exactly what happened. I hadn't seen any article saying, how he passed. It's,
Right. Yeah.
you
I
know,
didn't see anything either, but R.I.P. to Tiny, man. That's crazy.
yeah, no,
Um.
it's people are dropping. We had a Northern Cal DJ just passed, Jay Reese, um, out of the Bay
Yeah.
Area.
Yeah. No, I caught that too. Yeah. I seen that. I was like, oh shit. Like, I'm not really familiar with him. I guess yeah. Like you said, he's a Area DJ out there. Um. Um. But yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and I mean,
Uh,
I don't know how old he was, but definitely he was a young guy too. We've been connected on Facebook for probably the last, 8, 9 years. So it's was heartbreaking to hear of that too, because I mean, he's probably no older than me. In fact, he might have been younger, and I'm 48 years
hmm
old. So
Yeah. And um. Yeah. And like there was another dude, another cat that passed away. Um. From the Booyah tribe, Gangster Rid.
yeah, yep,
Yeah, that I was like, whoa, man. Like Booyah tribe, yeah. And I mean, and they go way back. I remember listening to their stuff back in the days.
yeah, they
And
were part of the same clique as Mellow Man Ace and Cypress Hill, and you
yeah,
know,
yeah, that's
yeah, well, that's one thing in life, is we're not guaranteed another day. So you got to live your life and try to live it to the fullest, if, as much as possible. I mean, because you don't know what could take you out. You don't know if it's going to be a sickness. You don't know if you're going to be in a car wreck. You don't know. So you got to appreciate every day you're breathing. You know.
yeah, yeah. I know. I try to do that as much as possible. I mean, obviously, you know, w- we as humans want to try to live long as possible. But like you said, it's you just never know, man. It's anything can take you out. I mean,
Yeah, you
it's
just don't know. We're not to know. So it's that's when the day is marked is when the day is marked. So that's why you got to appreciate the people around you as well too, because they won't always be with us. And and it sucks to have to put ourselves in that mind frame and think about it. But you know,
yeah,
that helps you appreciate your loved ones more and appreciate life.
yeah. No, that's real talk. Because yeah, definitely you gotta appreciate your family, your friends as much as possible, and enjoy life. And like you said, live life to the fullest. Because yeah, it's just it's that unknown factor that that we just never know.
Yeah, it's just part of
Um,
what we're doing, what we're living. You got people that come into your life and people that exit your life, and
yeah,
likewise, you enter people's lives, you exit their life as well. So it's we don't know exactly what's going on, and it's funny to hear people that think they really got it figured out, but we're all riding on the same idea that we hope there's something past what we're doing now, and I do believe there is something past, but I don't have my mind made up of what it is exactly. I
right, right.
I feel life is a test of sorts, and we're here to learn.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, definitely.
and that's just one of my thoughts. And because I don't want to think that if I pass, it's just over. It's I want to feel like we're doing this for some purpose of sorts.
Yeah, yeah. On to the next step of that journey, so to speak, I guess.
Yeah, and of course,
Yeah,
connecting with loved ones that have passed. That's a comforting thought if we could do that.
I know, right? It's like we would like to, like somehow reconnect with the ones that pass into that next phase, so to speak. Um,
Yeah, and people that have left our lives are still with us. Because I don't know about you, but I can sense, like my mother, I can sense my mother around me still.
hmm
You
That's
know,
dope. Yeah,
so
yeah,
and that's a comforting feeling. But I mean, it could be in my mind because she had her impression on me. But like I said, I don't know what the real answers are on all that. But it's a comforting thought to know that her being is somewhere. Her spirit
yeah,
is
yeah.
somewhere. You know,
Right, right. Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Because a lot of people have different takes on that. Like, I, different opinions, but all that matters is that you feel that, and and you find comfort in that um whomever it is, they're watching over you, they're somehow near you, you know. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a comforting feeling, but it could just be in our minds, but we don't know,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah, that too, man. Like a mental game.
yeah, but if it brings some like peace to your life, it's okay to feel a certain way. That's
Yeah.
why I don't take it, like some religious people take it too far with the way they push out their beliefs on people.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, I think most of them just they want what we all want. They want to have this comforting feeling that there will be an afterlife, and everybody has their own idea on what it may be. I'm just not sold on any particular religion, but there's good points in all of them, and I'm always
Right.
willing to listen and hear what people have to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Just
very
be.
open-minded.
Yeah. I think that's the key. We got to be open-minded, because I think if we stick to one one side of the story, then it creates a lot of tension amongst other people,
Yeah.
or groups or whatever, But
Well,
yeah, I
unfortunately,
mean, I'm in agreement with you. Like, I think we have to definitely be open-minded.
yeah. What I was going to say is, unfortunately, you got people fighting over it. you know,
Yeah, I know,
you
like
know.
crazy, man.
Well, instead of just respecting each other, like, okay, you feel the way you feel, awesome. I feel the way I feel, and as people outside of religion, we all have way more in common with each other than we don't.
Yeah.
We all want success for our family. We want to be with our families. We want to hang out with our families, and we want to, pursue whatever you feel passionate about in life, you know. So it's just a trip to watch people fight over stuff. I just never understood that. I just stand back and watch, though. I don't engage. I just, stand back and
Yeah, yeah.
watch what people do, because
I
I'm
know.
not going to fight over it, you know, you know,
Right.
but
Um,
I respect everybody in the way they feel, though, straight up.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, man, we'll definitely get into your background and your history, the shop and everything. Um, a quick thing before we get started on that. I think it's official now, but uh, 'cause, regarding the whole vaccine, the Pfizer in the U.S. They're gonna start distributing that. Are you gonna
Yeah.
take that shit, Jason? Are you?
Not off top, no. I am gonna wait to see where it goes. I'm not opposed to it happening, but I don't trust something that's coming so fast. And I don't take the flu shot, so I don't like needles. So
Hmm.
that's for
Yeah,
one. Um,
yeah.
as far as COVID's been concerned, I mean, this stuff's been passing around for quite a while already, and I mean, I'm sure I've been exposed to it. I mean, I've talked about being at the NAM show last year in January and coming home sick, and the doctors can't figuring it out. But I have not been
Hmm.
tested, so I can't get on a soapbox and say that I've actually had it. But
Yeah.
everything kind of points to the direction I did have it. And of
Hmm.
course, COVID was at the NAM show that year. It was already in the LA area. There was a lot of people from China that came over, and of course, we're down there partying and shaking hands and touching gear, and
Yeah. And
so I
that was early this year, right?
yeah,
Nam,
mid
right?
mid January.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so yeah, so I don't think the vaccine is a cure all. And I get suspect of it because they can't cure the flu, they can't cure the common cold, and we get this new kind of cold or whatever you want to call it
Hmm.
that comes into existence, and all of a sudden they're ready, like, oh, we can take care of this. You know,
Yeah, I was watching I caught a clip on YouTube about one of the doctors did say, it was in record time as far as trying to get this out there. And it's, I mean, that's a little bit interesting in itself. But I mean, obviously, because of the rapid rate of people just dying and stuff. They needed to develop something as soon as possible, obviously, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I think I would wait as well, but I think their main I think they've stated that their main priority is that they're going to distribute it to the people that need it the most. So I think that's how they're going about it, and then eventually it'll trickle down to the general public. But uh, but yeah, I think I'll probably hold off on that as well. Like I don't want to be. I mean, I've taken the flu shot before in the past, but um yeah, I might just wait and hold off on that kind of thing. So
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
see.
just gonna wait till they force it on me. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm at. But yeah, I don't want to be the guinea pig. And yeah, I mean, they're talking about health workers are going to get it first, which makes sense. They're out there in the
Yeah,
trenches,
yeah,
with the sick
definitely. Yeah,
people. And
yeah,
it's just, yeah, it's just, man, there's so many different angles to think about this whole thing. And I know technology has changed a lot, so they could develop something probably fairly quickly. But I
yeah,
would like maybe to see a cure for cancer and some other stuff if they can, since technology is so good that they can stop something like this. It'd be nice that
yeah,
they could stop something that's bigger and better. I'm always skeptical about the healthcare industry due to the fact they make so much money and there's all these insurances involved, and it's,
yeah. I
it's,
mean, that's another can of worms right
oh, well, absolutely. So I think this is
there.
a money move. I mean, somebody getting paid. You
Yeah,
don't got
yeah,
some billionaire going, you know what? I just want the good of humankind to be safe. It's
yeah,
unfortunate it's like that, but it's kind of a numbers game at some point, and there's money involved, and anywhere there's money involved, unfortunately, there's shadiness involved. Um,
yeah. I know, man.
so that's the scary part. What's going to happen next? I mean, we don't know if this shot will do something to us 10 years down the line.
Hmm.
And who knows? Maybe the shots we've taken before have had some adverse effects on us. We just don't. I always say this: I'm not a doctor or a politician, so I don't have any answers at all, really. In the
Yeah,
end. But as I watch humankind and I watch the hustle, that it comes to play, within the government and in the hospitals and everything else, it makes me, kind of wonder, how legit everything is. And,
yeah,
and and it's good to be open minded and think that way.
yeah,
There's a lot of people that aren't open minded that, we got people fighting amongst each other about wearing masks and staying home, and then people that want to be free, and and I understand all ends of it, and I do find some stuff to be kind of backwards. It's they want to close down excuse me, they want to close down bars and restaurants, but you can go to Winco and there'll be 20 people on one aisle, and I'd say a quarter of the people in the aisle have their masks hanging off their face.
yeah, yeah,
So they're pushing out whatever germs in their mouth, and so it's, and I mean that's going all over carts, that's going all over food, and everybody's touching everything, and yeah, it's a mess.
yeah, yeah. You know what? Uh, to kind of piggyback off of that, like I've been seeing some threads on Facebook or online about you know the mask and people going out like I do stand up comedy and so like like I'm actually it's coming um from what I noticed from some of the comedians I kind of I'm not gonna name any names but and there's some other people that I've noticed as well um but yeah they're kind of like throwing shades and passing judgment as far as like I feel like man they're targeting me because like I go out and you know do a little bit of stand up and then I'm not saying I go out there all the time but when I do go out I definitely bring my mask try to follow the guidelines and everything. And like when I saw the post, I was like, I was like, what the heck? What is this shit about? You know? And the other thing to that too is that like sometimes I'll post some stuff like pictures, and then you know, and then on the photos I don't have my mask on, so I'm thinking like, okay, if you guys are passing judgment because okay, if I post something and I'm not wearing a mask, like okay, you're passing judgment, like you're thinking that I'm being careless, like I don't know. You don't really then that tells me you don't really know what happened before prior to that, so
Well,
I don't
everybody
know.
has different fears, and one thing about human beings is they can find a reason to bitch about something, they will. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm fortunate, especially in my position, because we had the scratcher event, and of course we're all standing together, no masks. I mean, there might have been one or two guys with the masks. Of course, when we had Mellow Man Ace
hmm
out, we had about 60 people in the parking lot. I think nobody was wearing masks at that event, and nobody got sick
hmm
either. So it could be deemed as careless. I thought about it later after the pictures were posted that I might get some backlash because I have a lot of people looking at me,
hmm
but nobody
yeah,
came
yeah.
at me, nobody said anything. So I guess I'm fortunate there because I had this feeling people were going to do that. And
Yeah.
there's people that the doctor has told them their loved ones died of COVID, and I understand their point of view because if you knew your loved one died from that disease, you would probably be more upset with people not taking precautions. Um, but one
hmm
thing about a mask, and I get all these other analogies is, it's better that if you're going to piss your pants to have your pants on instead of having your pants off.
hmm
So I get that analogy. But when I'm walking around with my mask on, I could still smell the bread baking in the store, or I could smell a woman's perfume. So I'm like, well, if
hmm
I can get those smells coming in, what's to say whatever airborne stuff that's floating around can't get through the mask? Because the
yeah,
mask is just a piece of cloth, unless you have one of these
yeah,
N95 ones that is super duper, you know, that's gonna, protect you from, those airborne pathogens.
yeah, yeah.
But like I said, I wear my mask, when I go to the store where I have to wear it. If you give me the
hmm
choice, honestly, I probably wouldn't wear the mask because I honestly don't feel like it is protecting me. But
hmm
I get it with going back to you taking a piss in your pants. You're going to get less piss out because your pants are going to absorb it. So I do fully understand that. I'm just
yeah,
I'm just giving my point
yeah.
of view, and especially if I did catch COVID during NAM, I don't know if it's something like the flu you can continually catch it. I just like I said, I'm not a doctor. I
hmm
don't I don't have the answers for that, but I
yeah.
feel more annoyed by wearing the mask than I feel safe wearing it. I guess you could say. And there will be people out there that disagree with me, and that's okay. We're living our lives, That's
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, you know what? That's the other thing. It's like you know what? Um, you want to try to you want to pass judgment, whatever you have your opinion, but it, by the end of the day, you know, people are still gonna go out and do what they got to do. Now, it's up to that individual if they're either following the guidelines or not, but like you said, we as people, like we have to go out to the stores and uh you know be with other people, and we got to buy certain things,
yeah.
and stuff like that, so like yeah, you go out to the store, you do see several people, or a certain group of people, and then um and then in comparison to like yeah, the bars and restaurants and stuff, it's yeah, you're because like if you're in the bar, or the restaurants, obviously they're doing what they need to do, and So it's I don't know. It's
There's
a
no real,
it's kind of a clusterfuck
yeah,
of
there's no easy
it's like,
answers
man,
there because both sides have great points. That's like I said, this is why I don't argue with anybody because I understand both points of view. You know,
yeah,
and this has been going on a long time now. You know, it, the way I see it, what our government should have done is just hard shut everything down. And just like
yeah,
nobody
100%,
goes
yeah,
nowhere.
100%,
You don't have food at home, the National Guard will drop off a box of food on your porch because you'll still have running water, you'll have your electricity, and that would stop the spread right there because nobody'd be going anywhere, you know?
yeah, and you know what? Yeah, I believe we dropped the ball on that. I think prior to even the first shutdown, like uh, as um, America, the United States,
Excuse me.
like we should have just got on the ball
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
get, you know, like we definitely dropped the ball on that.
But back to the money. You know,
Yeah.
these big businesses got to make the money. You know, toilet paper business is booming. So, you know, so it's always been profits over people. I've seen this my whole life. And
Yeah.
yeah, and then to pick and choose who's going to stay open because I remember, you know, when it first started coming down in March, they were saying for all businesses to shut down, you know, and I thought, damn, maybe I should shut my business down in the name of safety. But then I was in the drive-through at In-N-Out Burger, and I had this epiphany. I thought to myself, okay, so is In-N-Out Burger an essential business? Isn't it, is it essential to get a cheeseburger? You know, I can understand the grocery store being open for bread and water. We got to have that. But a cheeseburger? So
Yeah.
right then and there, I thought, okay, I'm not closing my business. You're not going to tell me to close
Yeah.
when you're going to allow Starbucks to be open. That's no.
That's
Well, that's
smart.
just not right. You know what I mean? Because my whole livelihood is on the line.
Yeah.
My industry is all DJ,
Right.
and I already lost tons of gigs, you know, and now, you know, DJs aren't working. You know, I got really scared that maybe the shop might have to close for a little while until we figure everything out. But no, I just kept it moving and I just kept going. I'm like, I'm not gonna give up on
Right.
this when they're going to allow other businesses to be open. I mean, I'd go to Costco and I see people walking out with big screen TVs. Oh, is that essential? Is it essential to have a big screen TV?
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
one might say, well, yeah, to have entertainment at home while we're on lockdown. No, man, you already have a TV. You don't need another new one. Come on now. You know, so I just
I
kept it
know
pushing,
that.
and well, they're letting retail be open now, you know, and it's obviously in the name of money, you know, so especially during the Christmas
Yeah,
holiday and all, you know.
yeah. But and another thing too, I was talking to a comedian uh guy I know, and um because in that field, you know, they're hard hit
Sure.
as well. Like, a lot of, you know, obviously entertainment and music and stuff. Everyone's, you know, hard hit. You know, and so I was talking to this comedian buddy of mine, and he made a good point. It's like, you know, if people want to pass judgment, then whatever. But you know, because certain comedians are, you know, it's their livelihood. You know, they have to, you know, go out there and pay the bills. Um, they have to, you know, make sure that, you know, obviously, the person is following the guidelines and everything. But yeah, they have to make ends meet, and you know, like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna criticize me because I went out and did a stand up gig, and you know, blah blah blah, and you're pissed because you know, whatever because of COVID, you know. So it's like,
Well, like I said, they're
yeah,
riding hard
it's
because maybe a loved one of theirs passed of it, and like I said, I understand their point of view totally, but if they're that paranoid, then they need to just stay home and then make comes to their house. And that's the only advice I could give to people that
Yeah,
are riding
yeah,
hard like that. I mean, yeah, I don't want to see anybody get hurt, trust me. But on the flip side, like you said, we have to get
yeah,
paid. We're in the entertainment business. Me, I'm a full-time DJ as well as the full-time shop owner. And yeah, I mean, yeah, my pocketbook took a big hit this year, and it's not even looking good for next year either.
yeah,
And so I'm going to do whatever it is to do to survive. I know our president suggested that we may look for other employment and look for other work, but we're already good at what we do. So you want me to now go work for Amazon? And it just, I mean, in the
right.
end, whatever it takes to feed my family, I will do it. But I'm not going to give up the last 9 years of what I've done with the shop and DJing to just throw in the towel.
And
Yeah,
work
I'm
at
not
McDonald's.
not going to do that easily. You're going to crush my spirit. Over this. But like I said, I'll do whatever it takes. To do it, and I don't blame anybody for doing anything. I know there's a lot of small business owners out there that are super frustrated, over it, and it's there's no real easy answers there. But in the end, I feel everybody should be able to just live their life. And if you don't
Yeah,
agree
yeah.
with what I'm doing, then just don't agree with it. Don't put me down over it. I'm not putting you down over it.
Right, right, right.
I'm not, you stay safe. I'll stay safe. We're all staying safe. You know, it's just, but
For
one thing,
reals,
one thing
man.
about human
For
beings is
reals.
they love to be opinionated. They love to fight. Any given day, you get on Facebook, you'll see people upset, or their point of view. Either they're down for the president, they're against the president, or what. It doesn't even matter. But there's just so many opinions, or people even fighting over sports. You got Niner and Raiders fans going at each other, and it's just human beings. It's kind of you're with me or against me mentality. A lot of it is like gangster mentality, because I grew up in gang culture, and if
Yeah.
you were
Hmm.
riding with the homies and the homies did something stupid, you still rode for them because you're clicked up. And that's just like when
Hmm.
you hear people putting down other
Yeah,
sports
yeah.
teams and other stuff, or they don't like Trump or they like Trump, or it's like on a gangster mentality. You know what I mean? It's like if you're not with me,
Yeah.
you're against me, and they feel like they're advocates for whoever they support, and they're pushing it down on us. You know what I mean? So, but I don't engage in any of that. I just watch it, and sometimes I enjoy looking at the comments, and because it's kind of like a movie, just watching these guys fight with each other over, like they don't even know who's in the White House. They don't even know dude personally. But they seem
Oh
to
yeah,
think they
yeah,
have it
yeah,
all figured
yeah.
out. They got
That's
it
the
all
other
figured
thing.
out. They got all the answers. See, I don't have the answers. Like I said, I'm not a doctor or a politician. I have no answers. I don't even know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know one person in the White House. I don't know one doctor. So do I really have an opinion? No. I'm riding the wave like everybody else. I'm just kind of watching. I see things that make sense. Some stuff don't, and I see it on both sides. There's stuff that I enjoy the president and what he
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
There's stuff that he says is like mind blowing to me. Like, did you guys just hear what he just said? I'm like, why did he say that? I'm just in the middle of the road, listening to both sides, looking at everything, and just basing my opinion from that. I'm not riding hard for any side because guess what? They're not riding hard for me. So why would I ride hard for some
Yeah,
strange,
yeah.
billionaire that has no interest of me, in what I'm doing in Modesto? I just don't see it with people that are like that. I'm trying to figure it out, but back to the gangster mentality. If this is your guy, you're going to ride hard with them. It's your sports team, your diehard Raiders, even though they could be a shitty team. It's you're going to stay, that's my team, that's my guy. So a lot of it's just human traits. It's like I said, people like to be opinionated, and like I said, I just stand back and watch. You follow me on social media. I pretty much keep it music, tacos,
Hmm.
turntables, fun. Of course, I had the Gulley for President thing
Yeah.
going. It was tacos, turntables, tequila. That's my
Yeah.
focus in life is eating good, having fun, and listening to music or playing music for people.
And, and you know what? Amen to that, man. Tacos, amen to that. And you know what? We're definitely gonna talk about music. Uh, Yeah, man. But no, it's cool. I appreciate your take on certain things, man. That was nice. You know, yeah, we're just two individuals here,
Yeah,
just kicking
absolutely.
back, you know, kicking back, sharing some thoughts and ideas to our lovely audience, and
yeah,
this
well,
is
like I said,
good
I do
stuff,
have an
good stuff.
opinion, and right here on this podcast is the time to say it. Not for me to go on Facebook and start typing it in. You know what I mean? Because you're hearing me talk about it, and I'm giving you multiple points of view.
Yeah,
I type something in, it could be taken many different directions, and then you get the comment section going. Then you get people fighting amongst each other in the comment section. So I got people that follow
yeah.
me that are now fighting with each other on something I posted, and I'm just like, no, we ain't doing that. We're not doing that. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, I know, man. It's crazy. Oh my God, it's a bunch of
Unfortunately, it
craziness.
keeps us all divided,
But
and I could never say this on social media, but anybody that types anything that's putting down somebody else because of who they believe could be our better leader is part of the divisive actions that we're going through right now. You know, yeah, they're help
yeah,
creating the
yeah.
division by posting stuff and slamming other people. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Instead, it would be better if they just kept quiet and just
Yeah.
focused on fun, food, and fam. you know, it's mind blowing to me that they don't understand that they're part of the division. And me just saying that, somebody's going to hear this podcast, they're going to get rubbed the wrong way already just for me saying that, because some people feel they
I
have
know,
to put
right?
it out there so that way they can have their opinion. And like I said, that's fine, but is social media
Hmm.
really the place to do it? I mean, you know,
Like, yeah, like
yeah,
let's sit down and
yeah.
talk about it,
Or
or you
or
know
at
what I'm
least be
saying? Like,
open-minded to
um,
what other people think, and be like, okay,
yeah,
well, you know, I agree with that, I disagree with that, so let's go have fun. Let's go put on some music, and you like
right,
dude,
right.
you like that dude, okay, cool. None of it matters. We're all here together. Like I always say, we have more in common than we don't. So let's focus on that instead.
Yeah,
You know?
for real. 100%. Well, Jason, bro, yeah, man,
Yeah,
let's fucking get into it, man. Um, shit. Let's break down your history, man. I know you mentioned it earlier. You have your own shop, which is a one-stop DJ shop out of Modesto, California. I believe
it'll
what
be
is it?
10.
10 years?
No, this was
Was
9 years
this year
this
the
year. It'll
ten
be
year
10 years,
anniversary?
August. Yeah, so we're,
Oh,
we're
9 years.
almost there. We're getting
Oh,
there.
okay, okay,
So yeah, so it's close.
okay.
But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
it's unreal that it'll be 10 years
yeah,
actually.
man. Yeah, I know that's crazy. And but yeah, prior to that, I met you like at Guitar Center because you
Yeah,
used to work out there, um, and me and my boys would go down there, and obviously we were DJing and stuff, and so we would we got to pick up some equipment or accessories,
yeah,
and you were there, man. You know, and it was a pleasure, just doing business with you during those times, at Guitar Center.
yeah.
And now, and obviously you have the shop for 9 years, so I've been you know going there as well. So definitely you know support you, not only as uh, an owner of your business, but just you as a person as well. I mean you're an awesome dude.
Thank
You're
you.
stand up guy, man. So love to see people doing good, and then progressing, and
Yeah, no,
whatever they do. So always had mad love for you, and
yeah, no, much
definitely
love and
always
respect for
supported
show. I
you.
think we met in 2004 when I was working Guitar Center floor, and I think I became
Yeah,
yeah, I
somewhere
started there in
somewhere there.
2003
Yeah.
at the August of 2003. So we may have met you know, my first month there. So, um, you know, but I know I became
Probably,
really
yeah,
familiar
yeah.
with you when we did the spinoff in 2004. You know,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, I almost
So, you
forgot
know,
about
so those that don't
that.
know what the spinoff is, it
Yeah.
was Guitar Center held DJ battles. Similar,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
I
no, they
miss
were really
those, man.
good. It's just they were kind of unorganized,
Miss
so
those.
they only did them for a handful of years before they let them go. But I remember, I mean, of course,
Yeah.
you stood out to
Yeah.
me, you know, because there's not a lot of DJs out there that are, you know, visually impaired. But when I watched you do your set, not only did you play a lot of great hip hop records, but you were moving, you were actually stacking your vinyl on top of each other. So every time you made another movement, you would grab the vinyl record and you just throw it right on the ground. We were out there on the cement, and I remember just seeing some of your vinyl just sliding
Yeah.
on the cement. And I thought that was I love the showmanship that you brought to the, you know, to the event. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
know,
No, thank you.
so that, you know,
I appreciate
that
that,
just
man.
stood out
Thank
to me
you.
right off jump. So, and of course, you know, we've developed a relationship over the years, like you indicated, and you know, you've been a long time support, you know, for me when I was at Guitar Center, and of course with the One Stop DJ Shop. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
yeah,
that was some fun, good
definitely.
times right there. Um, yeah. So for those that don't know, Jason, uh, you're a DJ, like you mentioned. Break that down, man. Like, how'd you get into it? What made you get into DJing? And
Well, I was
yeah,
born in
let's get into it.
1972, and as far back as I can remember, I've been listening to music all my life, and I've had a love for multiple genres of music. And of course, I was a big fan of radio. I had got a boom box. Well, it was like a half boom box where it had one speaker and a cassette deck on it. Got that when I was 8 years old. Started recording off the radio. Always wanted to be in the radio, and I actually did get into radio as well. It wasn't my calling in the end, but
Yeah, we'll
yeah,
touch on that too in a little bit.
yes.
Yeah,
So when I was
but
11
yeah,
years
yeah. Go
old,
ahead, go
I
ahead.
went camping with my Uncle Raoul, South Lakeshore Comanche. Comanche, I think it's Lakeshore Comanche. I might not be saying it right, but it's South Lake Comanche is one of the local camping spots with a lake out here in Northern California. And they had DJs come in from San Mateo that came in and played in the evening in the arcade area. There was a DJ crew. I don't know who they are. They were
Mm,
wearing scrubs, like they worked, like they were doctors or something. But this is back when, you know, Rumors was a big
mm,
hit. Roxanne, and Debbie Deb and Chernair and all these records were exploding on the scene. It was still fairly underground. They weren't playing that music on the radio.
mm,
But I watched this DJ just work the turntables, and he had a crew with him just that they were pulling records for him and putting them down. And I knew right then and there at 11 years old, that's what I want to do. That is exactly what I want to do. Growing up where I grew
mm.
up, there was no DJs, there was no Guitar Center, you had no outlet. You had to know somebody that was involved in DJing to get into it. Well, fast forward at 19 years old, you know, I had my own job. You know, I was moved out on my own, so I went to Radio Shack and bought that realistic mixer that we all know and love. You know, the three mic channels, two audio channels, and a crossfader that was like a pitch fader from a Technique. You know, and so I had vinyl off and on all my life, but I only had six records. So I had a Sherwood home stereo turntable and a Marantz turntable from a buddy of mine, and so I finally, you know, and of course I was train wrecking like hell back then. I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't think about the music theory of it, and you know, and I kept listening to DJs like Cameron Paul on the radio, and a few other Bay Area legends. And I'm trying to think, how are they doing that? How are they doing that? You know?
Yeah, and Cameron Paul, that's a big name. For the old well, for the young heads that don't know, that's a name that we if they were gonna teach us
Oh
craft,
yeah, he's the
they
one of the
should mention
mixing
his name.
legacies. As far back as the history that I know of, mixing was developed in California. It was called the California Mix. I know another DJ that got me into doing weddings. He's an OG from San Jose. He's part of Club Mix Entertainment. It's a guy named Johnny D. He was been mixing since the late 70s, and he told me that it was called the California mix back then because on the East Coast they weren't blending the records, they were slamming them. So instead of, beats being on top of beats, they were,
Hmm.
just, I mean, if you think about it, listen to some of the old, Grandmaster Flash stuff. I mean, he was still doing some mixing though, don't get me wrong. But over here it was real tight. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And it was mainly mixing. It wasn't as
Yeah.
turntable list, I guess you should say, at the time back then. I mean, now it's a mix of everything everywhere. So it's a mix. We took some stuff from the East Coast. The East Coast took
Yeah.
some stuff from us. So it's just, it's very,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So when I got the setup, of course, like I said, I sucked. Um, all I wanted to do was mix. I didn't know it was going to lead to everything that I'm doing now. I had no clue. I just, like I said, when I was 11 years old and saw that DJ mixing, I was like, I want to accomplish that, and I want to mix. So I just kept at it. Started buying
Yeah.
records, buying more records, and whenever I could. And it became very therapeutic to me because I used to work shit jobs, and of course, life can beat you up sometimes. So, I'd go to my room, jump on the turntables, and I wouldn't think about nothing else but playing the next song. It is, because it kind of
Yeah.
just,
Just like
you don't think
therapy.
about
Yeah.
nothing else. Whatever's
Yeah.
bothering you, just at that moment is not in your mind. So I just kept doing it,
Yeah.
got better
Yeah.
and better, started recording my
100%.
mixes. Of course, some of the homies started playing my mixes. They're like, okay, we need you to DJ our party, and I'm like, cool. Start, DJing the parties. Well, that's when I started learning more about the mobile end of things, and it not being about me and what I want to play. It was about the audience, which is a lot of DJs have to go
Yeah.
through that phase, and unless you become some superstar DJ that they're paying you to go, you're going to do a certain thing, then that's a different scene. But the rest of us are all kind of just no name guys that are out rocking parties. So, you know,
Right. Right. So, did you did did someone teach you like a hands-on, or did you kind of just learn it by listening, or how did
so one
that
of the
whole
homies
thing
that used to kick it with
transpire?
us was a
Like,
guy named Jeff
w-
Weston.
w-
When I got into DJing, he had already previously been into DJing, and then I got him back into DJing. So he told me he's the one that kind of broke down,
mhm.
using the pitch control on the turntables, and so that kind of gave me a direction. But there was no hands on. Everything that I learned was from trial and error. And then I remember the first time I put two beats together that were on beat, and that was, man, I was pumped. You know what I mean? Because I kind of
Yeah.
figured it out, even though I wasn't dropping it
Yeah.
on the one, but the drums were on time with each other, and I thought, okay, I can do this. you
Yeah.
know, and these were on these turntables that
Yeah.
weren't really meant for
Yeah.
DJing, so I actually pulled it off. But yeah, but Jeff got me into
Right.
it, and I think the first gig we
Right.
did outside of the house was with him, and he gave me a word of advice. He said, "Look, he's all if they're not matching in your headphones, he's all don't mix them, don't." He's all because it'll sound like shit, you'll train wreck. And I'm like, so that was solid advice. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because back then, mixing rap music was a lot different. We didn't have intro and outros, and literally you needed three turntables to kind of pull some magic off, back then, because rap music didn't have no breaks. It was like from the start of the record to the end of the record, they're either talking on it or
Hmm.
they're rapping or there's a chorus. So
And then it was kind of, from what I heard, it was a little bit difficult to
yeah,
mix hip hop tracks back then,
absolutely.
right? Or I mean, in comparison to some up tempo stuff where the BPMs were either the same or close to it, to where you can beat match it. Because the up tempo stuff, it's whether it's 120, 120, 126, you can ride the pitch on that, and then control the pitch, and
Sure.
then it's still within range when you mix. But like hip hop
Well,
records
slower
was
BPMs are harder to
that was a
mix.
little
Yeah, the
interesting,
slower beats are harder to mix
from
because
what I
there's
heard.
more time for the mix to fall apart.
Yeah.
On the faster beats, it's moving a lot faster, so you have a
Yeah.
better chance of keeping them on beat. But also, if you start thinking about like early West Coast records, with Egyptian Lover and LA Dream Team and Unknown DJ and all these guys, there was always plenty of
Yeah.
beat to work with. You know what I mean? There was breaks throughout the record that you
Yeah.
could
Yeah. Yeah.
jump off of. You know what I mean? So, because I'm big on that genre.
Hmm.
So of course I was playing a lot of that stuff to myself. you know, and I was into breaking and all that stuff back before I was a DJ too. So I'd already been heavily influenced by that style of music, and I still like to play that now. I mean, you
Yeah.
know,
Oh hell yeah. We definitely have a common theme with that.
yeah. Well, that's just I
We
love
definitely
that
share that
style of
kind of
music,
thing.
and a lot of people call it electro, but it is hip hop. I've had conversations with, I remember
Yeah.
one day the
Yeah.
Egyptian
It
Lover
is.
asked
It is.
me, he
Yep.
goes,
It
"What do you
is.
think my
Yep.
music is?" I'm all, "It's hip hop." And he goes, "Yep." you know, yeah, I guess he maybe wanted to see how deep I was as a fan. I think that was probably maybe the third or fourth time I met him. You know what I mean? No, it's
Yeah.
hip
He
hop.
was testing you. It's
But
like, all right, I'm gonna give him
Egypt,
a
and
quick.
what is a DJ if you can't scratch? And those were hip hop records. I mean, they had all the hip hop elements. He was rapping on them. They were scratching. I mean,
Yeah.
that was hip hop, and it's very hip hop. It just,
Yeah. All those records. The what? The Electric Kingdom. Uh.
yeah,
Alma Fish. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean
They
that.
inspired
Yeah.
the
Those
dancing
were hip
behind
hop.
it and the rapping, and
Uh,
of course, for sure. So that's I just named three of the elements of hip hop right there. And those are just fun records. I mean, I'm
yeah.
glad that,
Yeah.
Egyptian Lover's still out doing it, and still making records and outperforming. And it's still surreal to me that I even know him on any personal level. I've hung out with him now handfuls of times, and he loves the shop and what I'm doing over here. So, that to me is incredible. you know, I, I would have never thought in a million years,
Yeah. That's
when
dope.
I
Yeah.
first heard Dial a Freak back in 1983, that like I would get to know this guy personally, and he would be at my store, doing
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
record
I
signing, or,
know.
I had him perform at my 40th birthday party. That was just unreal, unreal,
That's- I know. Like one of your idols. I mean to be able to. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like you used to listen to his music, and obviously, you're still bumping it, but yeah, to eventually like somehow to develop that relationship and then to get to know him and then like
It's the
on a
power
personal
of
level. I
Facebook
mean
right there.
that's cool. That's awesome.
Because that's where it started. Actually, I was following him on MySpace, and he did a show with Nucleus in San Francisco. So of course, I had to go to that show. I mean, that's, yeah, you talking to, legendary. Well, Nucleus is a group, but two legendary folks that are involved in hip hop music, on one stage
Yeah,
together and it was such a great show.
yeah.
And then once I connected with them, well, actually, how I really connected with them was the Midnight Crew from San Francisco, DJ Chill, had brought him out to do a show in Modesto at the Copper Rhino downtown
Hmm.
Modesto, and he called me up because he wanted to, because
Hmm.
Egyptian Lover drops a vinyl set and then he performs. So in that place, it was set up for Serato. The club owner had put the dual 18 subs underneath the stage. So anybody that spun vinyl knows that if you have the subs real close to you, you're getting feedback. You're getting this low end hum, and potentially it could make the needle bounce as well. So they called me
Yeah,
up, said, "Hey, can you go down there during sound check to see if you could
yeah.
help us fix this problem? Otherwise, he's not going to spin. He's just going to perform." So I'm like, "Well, yeah. Is he going to be there?" And they're like, "Yeah, he'll be there." So I'm like, "Oh yeah." I freaking grabbed a handful of records. I mean, I have a lot of his records, but I grabbed only like maybe 5 or 6 of them. I didn't want to overwhelm him. I didn't want to show up with the whole crate. So, we ended up figuring out the sound. We put a slab of marble underneath the turntables, and that stopped the transmission of the subs to get to the turntables, or at least slowed it down anyway. So he was able to spin vinyl records. So he's going through my records,
Yeah.
signing them. So he pulls out, I have a pink copy of my Beat Goes Boom 12-inch promo that a good friend of mine, Pete Carrion, gave me because he knows that I was a
Mm.
big fan of Egypt. So he found it digging. I had no idea what it was worth. I didn't even know it was
Yeah.
rare, you know. So when he pulled it out, he just lit up. He goes, "Oh, where'd you get this?"
Yeah.
You know, and I told him where I got it. It was given to me. He goes, "Man," he's like, "I don't even have one of these." He's like, "They all came in black sleeves." He's all supposed to give the black ones away. He's all, "I gave all the pink ones away." And I said, "Well, you know what? It's yours. Don't sign it." And I'm like, you know, and he goes, "Are you sure you don't understand what this record is worth?" And I'm like, "For me to give it to you," I'm like, to me, the story is priceless. I'm like, you can't even put a number on that. So, you know, so he was very happy with it. We went
Yeah.
to the show that night and had a great time. And at the end of the show, you know, he calls me up to the stage and said, "Hey," he's like, "I got a promo for you." And he gave me the Electric Pharaoh promo, which I was hanging and signed it for me. And that's what's hanging in the shop. So that's how we connected right there. You know, that was
Nice.
so because he saw that, you know, because he could tell who's the real fans and who aren't, you know. And I mean, he's got a lot of following, but you know, when it comes down to it, there's only, you know,
Yeah.
so many of us that are the really devoted fans, you know, that will support everything he does. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was the beginning of that relationship. I mean, shoot, at Nam, you know, he came and did our party for the second time. No charge or anything. Just comes, shows up, and performs. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because he loves the movement. I mean, when he came out to the shop, I think you came out there when with the 1985 pressing. Did you come by the shop when he came to do that signing?
Uh
Oh,
oh
okay.
no, you know what? Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
haven't met him
So
yet. So I
you know,
probably,
that
yeah, I
that pulled
ended up
about 80
missing it.
people to
Yeah.
the shop. I've never had so many people at the shop before, and he was floored. He sold everything he brought, and so he pulls me aside. He goes, "You know, one thing I like about what you're doing?" And I'm like, "What's that?" He goes, "You're keeping the kids on turntables. You're keeping them scratching." He's like, "I really, you know, like what you're doing here." He's "You got my support."
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just like, that made me feel real good, you know, because this is a passion of mine, and I've been following my
Nice.
passion, and
Yeah, yeah.
for somebody like him to see that passion, just, you know, it just drives me to keep going. you know, I was walking the NAM floor this last January, and I see him walking.
Yeah.
He's got another dude with him. I recognized dude, and I think I've met him before but I didn't know who he was. It was the Arabian Prince. So I go, "Hey, what's up, EJ?"
Hmm.
Oh, we start talking. He goes, "Hey, this is the Arabian Prince," and I'm like,
Mm.
"Oh shit, really?" Like, so Egyptian Lover introduced me to the Arabian Prince. I'm like,
Ah.
how freaking unreal is that? You know, and then he's just talking about Modesto so highly. He goes, "Oh,
Yeah.
you don't know the guys in Modesto. They've been following me since day one. They got such a rich culture over there for the West Coast hip hop movement." And it just, I was just like, wow, dude. Like, he's like plugging me to one of the founding members of
Yeah.
NWA. You know what I mean? I'm like, that is just unreal, you know? So
Yeah.
yeah, can't make it up. That's for sure.
No, that, no, that's no, that's an awesome story, man. Man, yeah, no, like what Egypt was saying to you, yeah, he was saying that he likes the shop and how you keep everyone on the turntables and scratching. That kind of leads me to my next point, like um yeah, like for those that don't know, with the when Jason opened up the shop, he keeps this the monthly session scratch session.
Been doing it since
How
I
long you
moved
been
to
doing
the
that?
now, which has been about
I,
7.5 years. So initially, I was trying to get on board with Scratcher, but they didn't, or not Scratcher, excuse me, Scratchpad,
okay.
but they didn't really know me. So I decided to develop what's called the second Sunday turntable sessions,
Hmm.
and we did it I think we did it every month for almost 4 years. But then one
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
homies of ours, Vidal Cruz, we started talking about, well, maybe we'll do it once a quarter instead. And
Hmm.
right around that time, Lou Short and Bacon had brought Scratcher on
Yeah.
board, and so then we started, being Scratcher Modesto
Hmm.
as part of the Scratcher Collective, and of course in Las
Yeah.
Vegas we got with Scratchpad. Um, so we're representing both brands. We're representing Scratcher and Scratchpad, which is pretty much we're all part of the same community, when it comes down to it. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. And what's cool about that is like how you set it up is that yeah, man, like for those that go out there and jam on Scratcher Modesto, um, like it's good for us the people that do enjoy scratching and getting together and jamming, because it's not a like you don't really see that too often, like around here, at least in the 209 area. Obviously you got the Bay Area with Scratch Pad. um I mean, if you're fortunate enough to get out there, that's cool. I mean, it's not too bad of a drive, but if but Modesto's, like in the 209 area, like that's like from Stockton to Modesto, that's like 30 minutes. So if I want to go out there, I can go out there and make a day of it. A little bit easier drive, obviously, but and then the
Yeah.
other thing, yeah, Sacramento, I think yeah, Scratch Pad Sac, Nocturnal puts that together. And when pre-COVID and everything. But yeah, like
Yeah.
Sacramento had one, Bay Area had their thing, and then even prior to, like you said, prior to Scratch and Modesto, it was the second Sunday session at first, and um to put that on, man, that was that was awesome. I mean, because like for people like me, like I said, it's or my homies in town, like Jay Cuddy, if whoever wants to roll out, like we can go out there and then just
Yeah,
jam
it's all like-minded
with
folks that are into the same
the
stuff,
rest of the
and
DJs.
the shop represents hip hop culture to the fullest, and having these events ties right into what we're doing. The shop represents golden age, and also accepts where we're going as far as technology in the future. But yeah, just to be able to have the outlet to get everybody together, because everybody has a great time. I mean, there's a lot of unity right there. There's a lot of folks that I brought together that never knew each other, that were like-minded. I mean, I get guys come from the Bay Area, Sacramento, from
Yeah,
Fresno. So
yeah,
so it's not just from the local 209. We got guys that are traveling actually to come to hang out with everybody, to see what's going on, to jump on the decks, or just to come back and network with everybody. And of course, some of the sessions, some guys bring drum
oh yeah,
machines and
yeah,
stuff like that
definitely,
too.
yeah,
So we're
definitely,
doing
yeah,
live hip hop,
yeah,
and it's just like I said, therapeutic for everybody, because there's some folks don't have anywhere to go do that. It's and it's and I've kept it consistent over the years. I mean, of course,
yeah,
this year has been a
yeah,
bit rough. I mean, we've only had one so far, and if all goes well, late January will be the next one.
yeah,
I just kind of did the last one just to see how everybody'd react. I know
yeah,
some people didn't come because of COVID, and and I would never hold that against anybody. Like we were talking about before, we all got to live our lives,
yeah.
but some of us are ready to get together and hang out. It's
Hmm. Right. Yeah, and for those that went out there or wanted to go, it was just like it was like we needed that. We needed something to kind of enjoy again. Like what I'm saying, because like to not have a session, like people been wanting it, like and people were missing it, and I think it was a good thing that you did that, and to kind of just bring back something that everyone enjoyed doing. And um uh, I wasn't able to make it out there,
Oh
but
yeah, it was fun. It was fun. We
I'm
had
pretty
probably
sure
about
everyone had a
15 to
good
20
time.
folks
And
total. So,
so
and everybody had a great time. Like I said, we're ready to
yeah,
get back to what we were normally doing. And like I said, these sessions are always fun. Like I said, it's always a
yeah,
positive
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Everybody's there. I mean, there's no problems. Everybody's there on Unity. We're there having fun, and there will be definitely much more. I mean, unless something else happens in life, but we're gonna definitely gonna keep it going. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what I love about it, with the whole thing with the shop and you and um like you're you're a DJ, and you know, as a DJ, what works and what doesn't work, and I you know, you listen to us, you as homies, you know, like you mentioned, Vidal earlier, like, you know, like, uh what was he kind of pretty much he
No, it
spawned
was
the
I
idea of
put the idea
throwing
out there
the
on my
session
own,
and everything?
but Vidal is the backbone of the Second
Or
Sunday Scratch
oh,
sessions.
okay, okay,
You
you,
know,
yeah, yeah,
without him, there probably wouldn't have been some of the successful ones because he would
yeah.
bring out some great Vestax mixers. He would bring turntables. You know, because I only have so much gear, so it's it takes somebody to help. So he was really the backbone. He'd show up, like I said, with
Yeah.
three sets of decks and a handful of mixers, and that really validated what we were doing as far as the gear that was there. So no, much love and respect to Vidal because he's definitely
Yeah, yeah.
I don't without him we probably wouldn't be where we're at. So, but it takes a team, you know what I mean? So yeah, and he's minded just
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
am.
for
He's
sure.
very into the culture. We're all grown men over here doing stuff that we like. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
no, no worries.
And I think that's, and yeah, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I think that's that's the point, as far as like, you know what I'm saying, like, you recognize the scene, you know, you're open to the scene, and you were able to make it happen, and then obviously uh, other guys that are involved, like you mentioned, Vidal, and a few others and stuff. So to mix that all up, and you know, have
Yeah,
everyone come
no, it is.
together,
It
like,
is. It's
that's
it's
an
meant to
awesome
be.
thing.
That's for sure. So we were all meant to be able to do this and get this all going together, and and it stands out. There's people that that maybe only come once a year, but when they come, they enjoy themselves and they're very thankful that I'm doing it. But it does. It takes a team. I always talk about the one stop being an army, the one stop
Yeah,
army. Yeah, because I can only have the shop, but that's all I got. But it
yeah,
takes
yeah.
everybody to get together to make this movement happen. You know, and like I said, so we're doing stuff that we like to do. This is what we're into.
Right.
We're into the music, we're into the culture. It's a win-win situation for us all to be doing what we're doing. You know, yeah, and hopefully to keep this going on for more generations.
Yeah, yeah. Hell yeah, man. I mean, props to you, brother. Um, yeah, like you touched on earlier, the when you got started in DJing, like, so you got involved, you know, were learning how to DJ. When did you officially get your um official setup, like the techniques and
So that
stuff like
happened in
that?
1995. I
When
had
did
gotten a
you get
tax
those?
return, I think, I got my name Victor selling a pair of Technique 1200 MK2s for $500. Gotten from over here, and I thought, cool, I'm going to go check them out. And I thought to
Mm.
myself, well, I'm going to see if I can get them down on the price. But as soon as they were brand new, I'm like, oh, here's the 500. Like, I'll take them. So I was all pumped. I was all pumped up. Well, in my mind frame at that time, I thought, okay, these are going to make me mix better. But as I connected them, got them going, I just quickly realized that the turntables made the experience better for what I was doing, but didn't make me a better DJ. But now I had proper tools to start honing in on getting better. Because
Yeah,
now I got a turntable that was built for what I'm doing, and with a strong
yeah,
motor and a better pitch fader and a better tone arm
yeah,
design. Because everything was vinyl records back then. If you the record skipped, the record skipped. There was no going back. There was no loop. You can't echo out.
yep.
It's just it's going to go down the way it's going to go down. that I started working more on getting better. You know, of course, when you get new gear, you want to play on it. So when I had picked up those decks, I think the mixer I had at the moment was a Linear Tech mixer that was like a 19-inch rack mount, huge. So I saved up some money and I went to Skip's Music here in town and bought a Gemini Scratchmaster
Yeah.
#2, which was decent. Of course, I burnt the crossfader out within a month or so on that thing because you can only do so much with it. But it had the switches on it, so I was doing some Joe Cooley type. Yeah, it was a 10-inch 2 channel.
Was that the small one? Was that the small
I
one?
wish I would have kept it. I ended up giving it to a
Yeah,
kid that needed a mixer
yeah,
when
I
I
had
started
one. I
working
had
for
one of
Guitar
those.
Center because it was just
Wow.
collecting dust. And I thought, well, we'll carry the torch on here, but I gave away a lot of mixers or sold them, and I should have just kept them
Right.
all. But I didn't really think about the historical pieces. But so just getting
Right.
getting better gear did make the experience better. But of course, I just
Yeah,
kept
I
paying
know.
dues, kept mixing, of course, buying records, and just the more you did it, the better you got at it. And I didn't do it to make money. I did it because this is what I wanted to do. Like I said, going
Yeah.
back to being 11 years old, watching that DJ, is like that. I want to do that. So I started getting better and better. And when I started putting out tapes, of
Yeah.
course, that led to parties. And I was still working a full-time job. DJing wasn't making me no money. I think I was taking my home stereo out with me. Maybe if I got $100, I got a
Yeah.
hundred bucks. you know, if it was for the homies, then I just did it for free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And that's what it was. That's what it was. Like just having the love for it, having fun. Regardless, you know, how much you got paid. Like you just wanted to go out there and play.
yeah, well, it's neat to see the people
Rocking,
that,
house
light up when you're
parties
playing
and
the
stuff.
music. And
Just
one
just
thing I
playing
always
music.
say, and I still feel strongly to this day about this, is when I'm playing a record and then I start mixing the other record in, the audience starts cheering it on because they can hear it. And that to me, that's the mixing that, I just love doing, and I'm glad that
Yeah. Yeah.
I stuck with it and just kept pursuing it. Like I said, it was therapeutic for me because my life's been a roller coaster. I've been through hella shit. And so once I got up
Yeah.
to, I think, 97, I started taking radio classes, and that got me into radio. I did a couple semesters at MJC
Hmm.
at the college radio station. I landed a job at Hot 105 in Merced, and that I got into the record pool with them, and that boosted all my record collection like crazy. I got all kind of promos and
Nice.
stuff from there, and I was able to mix. I did mix on that station a couple times. It wasn't live. I would record the mix on mini disc, and then air it. Yeah, yeah. There wasn't a turntable in that building, so
pre
you
pre
know,
record pre-recorded mixes,
and
right?
then I went through some hardship at that
Yeah.
time, and I ended up quitting my full-time cooking job. I ended up quitting radio because radio it's fun when you're not involved in it, I guess you can say. you know because you're just listening to music, but once you work for them, you find out it's a job, and there's a lot of stuff you got to deal with, and people you got to deal with. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff, and of course the boss. I was very street on the radio. They always told me, "Well, you're never gonna
Yeah.
be on during the day," and I'm like, "Well, I don't want to be on during the day because I'm gonna be honest with you guys. You guys sound you're all boring. Like you're not doing a show. All you're doing is saying where the sticker shop's gonna be and today's hottest music, and then you're out." See, I was doing the personality thing, so that helped me become an MC. So when I quit all that and got rid of all
Hmm.
that, I ended up landing a job at Safeway, met my lady,
Hmm.
got some retail experience from the Safeway thing, which led me to work at Guitar Center. And so I had actually took a hiatus. I wasn't even DJing any parties or anything, but at that point I wasn't really a
Yes.
wedding DJ yet or a mobile DJ yet. I was just, if you wanted me to come play freestyle or R&B at your party, cool. You want me to play country records or Spanish? Forget it. That's not, I don't do that. I don't have the records to do it. So in 2003, when I got the job at Guitar Center, I met, like I said, a Bay Area legend, Johnny D from Club Mix Entertainment. He heard one of my mixes playing in Storks. I used to record mixes all the time, and I would play them in Guitar Center. So just for vibe, have music playing. He goes, dude, he's like, I need your help with a couple
Yeah.
gigs. He's like, can you help me? I just need you to mix. And he's like, that's all you got to do. Just show up with your CDJs or whatever you want to use. He's like, and I'll MC the whole thing. So I started seeing how he had a separate system for ceremony, and then he had, you know, the wireless mics and the way he flowed everything, the way he had his paperwork done. So after the second gig, I'm like, I could do this. I could do it because he's making good money. You know, he's making, you know, 1,500 minimum at a gig.
Hmm.
You know, so I'm like, I could do
Yeah.
that. You know, and plus you're there with the party people and you're having
Hmm.
fun and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
you know, so I'm like, yeah, you know, after that I started telling people I could do weddings. As I started, and at that time financially, I was in a better place. So I, you know, bought the wireless mics that I needed, the extra speakers that I needed, and you know, it just got it all together. And of course, you know, I was still kind of new, so I had to kind of learn. But since the radio thing got me good on the mic, and I was already good at playing music, and then
Hmm.
I was using CDJs at that time, so we were able to download music and share music amongst other DJs. So now I can play country, I can play Spanish. So that turned me into an open format DJ because I have love for all music. There's Spanish records that I like. There's country records that I like. I love music in
Yeah.
general, you know. But
Yeah.
my heart lies in hip hop, you know, and freestyle.
Yeah.
So that's what got that rolling. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what put me
For
out
sure.
there. You know, which was good because Guitar Center started going through changes. They cut my pay, so I started just picking up more gigs. I started working with other DJs in the area, so we were bouncing gigs off each other, and you know, and that you know, so when I you know, ultimately Guitar
Hmm.
Center got so poorly managed that I ultimately quit, you know, and I didn't know, just shy of 8 years.
How long were
So
you at
that's a long
Guitar
time.
Center?
I never had any other job last me that long, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, so you know, so yeah, so I didn't know I
Yeah.
was going to start the
Yeah.
one stop DJ shop, but I was already DJing, so I did have some income coming in from that because when they cut my pay at Guitar Center, I needed to fill that void. So I started picking it up a little more heavy, you know, and started doing school events and all kinds of other stuff because by
Yeah.
then I was already on Serato and I had a hard drive filled with music. So music wasn't the problem. It's just showing up and crowd reading. And of course, I've been doing this now for so long that there's an
Yeah.
art to crowd reading. You got to know how to read the crowd. The mixing is like a bonus, but you know, if you can crowd read, you don't even have to mix music. You just got to play the right
Hmm.
music, you know. But that comes in time and development of just keeping at it, and you know, and doing it.
Yeah.
So that's where that went on. Well, I had called the Pioneer rep was a gentleman named Joey Santos from Image Marketing West. They're the representatives of Pioneer DJ in our area, as well as Chave DJ and Odyssey Cases and a couple other brands. So I let him know, hey, next time you go to Guitar Center, I ain't gonna be there. He goes, oh, what's going on? I was like, I quit. He goes, oh, you know, I've been wanting my turntables to be worked on. He's, oh, I'm gonna go to Henry's. Let's meet over there. I'm like, cool, let's meet over there. So, you know, we got there and started talking. Well, him and Henry both were like, you just start your own store. You know everybody, you're connected to everybody. You know, you're very well known at being good at what you do. I thought they were crazy because I did not have the confidence at that time in my mind to be
Hmm.
like, oh, I could just start a business. You know, that just seemed like that's not something that I could do, or at least that's how I felt anyway at the time. You
Yeah.
know, and Henry's like, well, you know, if you need any help, you know, you want to do it, just let me know. You know, he's I already got the facility right here, you know, which is DJ Henry Customs. You know, he's, you know, customizing the Technique 1200.
Hmm.
So I went home. I took a couple months off and, you know, watered the lawn. You know, my son was just about to be born, my youngest. And the more I thought about it, I thought, well, what do I have to lose? If it doesn't work out, I'll get a job.
Hmm.
So I called Henry up, said, you know, beginning of August, I'm gonna go down there and talk to you about some ideas. And he's like, cool. So you know, because Henry's been in the business a long time. He used to sell
Hmm.
turntables and mixers and that kind of stuff too. So he knows some about the retail business as well. You know, yeah.
Yeah. And
Oh,
then
absolutely.
he
Yeah, he
was
got a record store here in town. I mean,
he
he's
was well known
contributed to
as
the
well
culture and still is
around the
contributing to the
area.
culture
Yeah.
now. You know, I mean, he's bigger than ever now. Shoot, you know, and the work is
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
outstanding. You know, Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So I go down there and talk to him,
shouts out to
and he's,
DJ Henry.
well, what
Yep,
do you
yep.
expect? And I'm like, well, we could do a 50-50 thing, you know, and, yeah, I'll cover half the shift, you cover the other half, and we'll come in financially 50-50. You know, I'll put up 50% of the money, you put the other 50% up. So we just type up some paperwork and make it official. And he goes, okay. He's all, I got the name for the shop. I'm like, okay, what is it? He's all, One Stop DJ Shop. Like, music to my ears. I'm like, yeah. I was like, I like that name. I was like, that name is good. So we sealed the deal. We opened up with Rain. It was the first company we opened up with. We
Yeah,
opened up with Shure right after that. Chave DJ and Odyssey cases, and was, I mean, and how we did all that was because I only had $2,000 in the bank. I didn't have deep pockets. I was lucky. I cashed out on some 401k stuff I had at Guitar Center, so I had a nice little chunk of money sitting. And to remember, I was DJing too, and actually DJing took off like a rocket, like once we started the store. So financially at that time, I was doing really good,
mm-hmm.
you know. So we started building, you know, everything together, and yeah, that's
Yeah,
where the One Stop DJ Shop was born. Henry's business had taken off like crazy, so he didn't have the time dedicated to run the shop when I wasn't there. So we both agreed just to go ahead and part ways, and I would take 100% of the business. It was a super friendly split. Um, I couldn't have done what I'm doing now without Henry because he knew about running small
yeah.
businesses. I always worked for a corporate company. I had no idea about working for myself, and he taught me a lot. And one thing he said, when I moved out was, he's wherever you go,
Mm-hmm.
make sure you're over. He's like, if you go for something too high, he's it'll put you out of business. And that just stuck with me because I was like, well, this man already knows, so I'm listening to him. you know, yeah. So
Mm.
so
Yeah, yeah. In
so
business
overhead
term,
is your
what
rent,
exactly
how
does
much
that
you pay
mean?
for
Like
rent, your
overhead
utilities,
low, keep it
and
low. I mean,
what
what does that mean?
merchandise you're keeping in stock, what you're throwing your money at. So, but really, it's your bills. How much is your rent? I could have had stars in my eyes and been like, okay, I want to be in this
Hmm.
nice, shiny place with a big sign and a big storefront, and rent's going to be 2,500 a month, and then I have a bad month, and then I can't even make the 2,500.
Yeah.
So that would put me out of business. So, so I was really fortunate that
Mm.
Barker's Music found me
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Chave
yeah.
DJ's website right at the time of the split and said, hey, we noticed you're a dealer in town. We don't want to sign up with them. We just want to buy some stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'll come down there and talk to you guys. So Barker's Music is a legacy music store here in Modesto. Been here for a long time. I think they've been here probably longer than I've been alive.
Yeah.
so, um, so, so I
Yeah.
went down there and talked to the owner. He's a guy named Kyle Barker, and talked about the Chave lights. And then I go, well, I'm looking for a place to rent right now. Dice is sitting at home in the garage. I'm pursuing to find a spot. He goes, oh, we can rent you a spot right here. I'm like, okay. I'm like, that would be cool inside of a music store. So we made an agreement, to do it, and it was $300 a month,
Mhm.
which was super cheap.
Yeah.
And I told him, once my business starts flourishing, I'll start paying you more money. So I bought him some lights, and then I raised my rent, after like 3 months there. And I did whatever I could to help them sell, you know, because they had guitars and
Mhm.
they pro audio stuff too. So, and that worked out really good. It was a great relationship. Unfortunately, they sold the building we were in. They moved down the
Mhm.
street, and the place was a lot smaller. And my business was really growing, and I couldn't be in a small spot. I needed something a little bigger. And then I found the place on Wiley Drive where I'm at now. And yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
I've been there now. I've been in the same spot now for 7.5 years, and it's still a small little store. I mean, it's starting to get kind of full, like I said, the last scratcher we did was outside because I have a lot of merchandise in the store now. It's pretty full, so eventually I'm going to have to move on from that spot too, but the overhead is low in that spot. It's a clean parking lot. It's kind of off
Yeah.
the beaten path, which I like because I'm all about keeping a grocery store. I'm not waving people in off the street. It's like, once you found me, you found me, and now you're
Yeah.
part of the army. So,
Yeah.
you know, you know, so that's the story of the one stop, and it's trial and error, because I'm a one man
Yeah.
gang. I'm doing everything. I'm doing all the ordering, the receiving, the website, all the social media, the books, everything. I'm doing everything. So, um, you know,
Yeah. One man army right there.
and
so
the year
is
2011,
what
August
year did
2011.
you officially started One Stop DJ Shop,
And
or was that
I got a partner in Las Vegas that carries the same vision. We have a
11?
one-stop
Yeah.
DJ shop, Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I have a partner, Rob Alon. So when I
How
started the shop, I sold a lot of Serato vinyl.
how that
So I found a group
partnership
on
came
Facebook
about?
that the guys were collecting the vinyl, which I had already been collecting since Guitar Center. I didn't know that people like me even existed that collected them. So I found this whole group of like-minded individuals like myself that love to collect the different colors and the different vinyls that come out. And I said vinyls, don't get mad at me. Vinyl. so 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 he was a customer
Yeah.
of mine. So then we ended up meeting at the NAM show maybe a year after that, somewhere in that neighborhood. I think we had ran into each other before that and just didn't know we didn't know who each other we didn't know who we were as people, I guess. So he uh he calls me one time and just goes, "Hey, I got an
Yeah.
idea for something, if I want to see if you'll entertain it, and I'm like, "Well, what is it?" He goes, "I would like to open a one-stop DJ shop here in Las Vegas." And I was like, "Wow, that would be badass." Because yeah, I've always enjoyed going to Las Vegas. I've been there a hell of times. And I thought, well, there's a lot of DJs traveling there. There's a lot of clubs, casinos, and stuff that have DJs playing there.
Yeah.
So I thought that would be a good fit. So we talked about it for about a year because I wanted to find out really where his mind's at, because ultimately we don't make lots of money. This is more of a passion move. I mean, it does pay bills, but we're not balling out of control off the one-stop DJ shop. you know so I wanted to make sure his mind was in a place where this wasn't some try to get rich scheme or try to come up. And and as I got to know him, he's a lot like me. He's just very passionate about music. He's passionate about DJing.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
passionate about pro audio gear. I mean, so it was just a really good fit. So I felt like, yeah, I can trust this gentleman with my name, because it's my name, that's on the line. So if I put somebody in position that's an asshole, that's just gonna hurt me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Rob is a really great guy. He's got a great personality. He's a very smart business guy. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a really good fit for the one stop DJ shop. So the universe definitely brought us together, and that shop is 6 years deep over there at this point. And there's been I've been entertaining some other thoughts of some other locations, but
Okay. Yeah.
nothing is going on right now at this moment. But yeah, it's neat that something that I built is in another city like Las Vegas. I mean, who would
Yeah.
ever thought? you know, we've had a lot of good events over there, like I said, with Scratchpad. And
Man, that's dope,
so it's
man.
it's
That's
been
dope.
yeah, it's been part of the journey. And I mean, who knows where it's all going to go past this? But yeah, Rob is a DJ himself. Um, I think he's live on Twitch right now. I think doing his solo Sundays. You know,
Hmm.
he's pretty deep into house music and disco and stuff like that. So he plays a nice mixture of music. So
Yeah. You know what? That brings me to my next point. Twitch. Obviously, with this pandemic, a lot of DJs, entertainment and everything has kind of halted everything. Specifically with DJs, we've have gone to the live streaming.
yeah, well, I didn't think much
What are
about it before
your
that.
thoughts on that?
My
I
partner Rob
believe
in Vegas has been
you got
streaming,
into it a little bit
since
too,
I've known
right?
him. So he's already been on it. I don't know. I'm kind of old school. It takes me a while to kind of get with the new stuff. But people kept talking about it, so we decided to do the first stream on Twitch TV, which was 808 Day,
Yeah.
and that ended up being a lot of fun. I was the first DJ to drop a set, and and we had some other dope DJs in the house with us, and then we did a show, where we went back and forth on 808 songs that were produced by the 808 drum machine, and it was a lot of fun, to do. So, but yeah, it's huge, and I guess there's a way to get paid off of it as well. I still haven't figured all that part out, but
Hmm.
I decided, yeah. So I'm still figuring it out. But the good news is I'm able to go
Oh
down to the
yeah, I
shop and
know.
stream,
Yeah, I heard about that.
because
Yeah.
I had to learn the OBS and the stream keys, and so there was like a new world for me just trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, so now I'm doing a show. I'm not even mixing music. I'm just playing music and talking about it. So it's more of a radio
Right.
show,
Right.
because with that I can play whatever I want in any order that I want, and I can change genres and speeds, and
Hmm.
it's just neat. I can tell a story about the song, and plus I could play stuff that you would never play in a mix, just the random stuff. I have a handful of episodes on Mixcloud, and it's under my name, Jason Gulley, that you can go through. I mean, I listen to them all the time because of course I like every record I play. So,
Yeah.
you know, but it's actually fun to do it,
Yeah. You, yeah. Yeah. No, that's dope. You know what? I don't know if you got this in your email, but I think it was, I believe it was, forget if it was, might have been Twitch. Yeah, I believe it's Twitch. How does that work? Like, because a lot of people are cracking down on the, if you're playing, like certain, or yeah, you're playing certain songs, and they're gonna crack down on it. They're gonna mute
Oh
it.
yeah, definitely.
Are
My
they
show is pretty much a
are
wrap after
they
it's done live. That's
flagging you
why
for
I'm
that,
streaming to two
or
spots at one time. What I like about Twitch is I can interact with the people on there, and since the platform is already established, I can, if somebody joins the chat, I can look at it and give them a shout out or talk about whatever
hmm
they're talking about on the chat. But the other part of it's streaming to Mixcloud, which Mixcloud is $15. I pay fifteen
yeah,
dollars a month, but they leave the mix up. They leave it the entirety. They don't mute any part of it, and the
hmm
$15 is to stream live. I mean, I could not stream live and just upload the mix,
okay,
but when Twitch closes down, I want to already be established
yeah,
on the mix cloud. And then after I'm done with the live feed, I can hit save, and now it's posted to Mixcloud. So it
yeah,
archived my set. Yeah, as soon as I'm done on Twitch, it's a majority of it is done. And then
yeah,
about a week after that, they just pull it completely off of there. So
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I kind of mess with it a little bit too. Yeah, um, I'm still experimenting with it as
yeah,
well. I haven't done much on it lately. Just kind of really focusing on my comedy and stuff. But definitely, actually I off air, I gotta hit you up about this, as far as like what, because I think I mentioned to you this before, about the, as far as like the certain cables to use
yeah.
to
Oddly,
get that
oddly
direct
enough, I'm
audio
using
sound.
a Pioneer DJM
But
S3 as a
definitely
sound card.
we'll talk after,
So
and stuff.
I have the first stream we did it through DJ Nocturnal's computer, which
Mm,
if you the old MacBook Pros had an input on them, so we just went basically quarter inch out of the mixer right into the laptop itself, and that turned out good.
hmm
So when I started getting into doing it, I was trying to get a
Oh
controller to
yeah,
work,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I was unsuccessful. So
yeah.
I tried out just one of the basic mixers I had, and that worked perfect. So the last few shows I've done use the S11, and it's going direct into that S3, and the S3 USB right into my MacBook Pro. You know, and it sounds good. It's clear, clean sound. So I'll
Yeah.
probably just keep it that way. I
Mm,
thought about maybe buying another USB mixer of sorts,
yeah.
but I don't really need it because I have a good mic input on the mixer, and if that does the trick, it's already working good for
Yeah.
me. So I'm just going to leave it at that. you know.
Right, right. I know. Yeah, there's so many different ways to kind of get that connection. You know, I because like that was one other thing. Like I really wanted to kind of not rush into as far as buying certain things. I kind of just want to get feedback from other people. Like, okay, what are you using? If I can not spend so much money buying a particular cable,
There
spending
are
like
other
200
options.
bucks on it, I'm like, oh, let me find another option,
Yeah, well, I thought the same
but
thing, but
if
then
I
I
have
found out I
to,
could
then
use my
okay,
mixer,
whatever.
so
But
I'm good to
I
go.
I kind of
And I
want
know
to save money.
there's another way for me to do it where I could probably just use the S11 by itself and not have to run to the other mixer, but I haven't dabbled enough
Yeah,
into that to figure it out. And I know some people use the phone, and I and I heard that the laptop is better to use, but I mean, as long as
yeah.
you can get good,
That's what I
clean
did.
audio
Yeah, that's
out,
what I
I
did.
mean, that's where it's
Yeah.
at. So that's yeah. So I think I've landed on it, but yeah, I
Right,
haven't tried out the phone stuff. I
right.
had my buddy Cisco bring me one of those Roll and Go Mixer Pros, and I couldn't get it to work. And I think it was defective because I'm pretty good with audio, but I could not get that to work. So
Mm,
like I said, it was a trial and error trying to figure it out. The first time I actually went live by
yeah,
myself, I actually just ended up
yeah.
using the microphone on the laptop, which sounded horrible. But I already put it out there. I was going to be live, so I wanted to get out there and do it. So I just did a short show and knocked it out. And then after the show, I started. That's when I tried out the
Yeah.
DJM S3 from Pioneer and saw that that worked and said, okay, well tomorrow I'm gonna. So I did two pre-shows before I started the actual original show. So to make sure that everything was going to be good, make sure that the internet was stable, and because you got to have
Right,
good internet
right.
too to do it. You got to have a
Yeah.
strong signal
Troubleshoot
to get it
everything,
out there
right?
for it to be
Yeah.
clear. And I'm still using Nocturnal's
Yeah.
camera, so eventually I need to buy my own. But it's doing the trick for the moment. So and I don't think it's a too expensive one. But
Yeah.
that's what I learned too is I'm
Yeah.
on camera. So that's some because honestly I feel
Yeah.
like to watch me just mix music is kind of boring. So you know so I see a lot of guys doing Twitch that are doing videos or they got stuff going on the screens, and that's pretty awesome. I'm just fortunate, and I'm just yeah. Well, because like I said, just to watch me play records,
Hmm.
like to me, I'm bored watching
Yeah,
that
but
shit. I
being
mean,
creative.
unless
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
put it on like it's the radio and
Yeah.
just listen to the audio, you know what I mean, and not pay attention to the visual. You know what I mean? So, because that's what it's all about anyway. For me, like I said, doing the Phil's mix is like a radio show. So it's more like you're gonna put it on while
Yeah.
you're cleaning the house or while you're cooking dinner or while you want to just cruise social media and put them on your headphones, listen to the
Yeah.
music, or you know, I've gotten a lot of good feedback from the show, so I know I'm onto something with what I'm doing with it, you know. And like I said, it's
Right.
it's fun. So absolutely,
No, that's good. That's good. That's what's up. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, and like I said, we're living in some interesting times right now. Lot of people that are DJs are having to you know um, find other means of DJing, so to speak, and um, and streaming is the popular thing at the moment, and so yeah, it's definitely
yeah, yeah. No,
something different, but
you get yourself out there
it's
on
it's
out
it's
live.
it's
I mean, like
possible
I
as
said, it's
well.
fun. I didn't
So
think it was going to be that
we have
much
to.
fun, but when we did 808 Day and I dropped my set, and I got a lot of great feedback from that set, because some of my followers.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of
I
my
believe
followers
I believe I caught
had
that a
never
little
seen me
bit of that.
DJ or never
Yeah,
heard me
you play
DJ. So
some dope
I
stuff
think
up
that
there.
that validated who I am as a DJ for them to, oh, he really can put it in the mix, You know what I mean? I'm live on camera doing it live, you know what I mean? So that was a good feeling. Like I said, there was a
Yeah,
lot of OG DJs that I look up to that
Yeah.
complimented me on how well I mixed, and that made me feel real good. Like to to hear that from some OGs that I look up to, it's like, thank you,
Nah,
you
that's
know,
good.
but yeah, like I said, I've always had the passion for mixing, even when I was still learning to mix, I had this passion for it. So, over time I've gotten really good at it. And, and that's just one of my skills as part of the DJ faucet.
Right.
And I'm thinking I'm going to do maybe one mix show a month because I don't want to burn it out and do it all the time, you know, but I know that some people, yeah, I think some people would
Yeah.
probably rather me mix
Right.
than
Right.
like me stop the records like I'm doing on the Phil's mix. But
Keep them
I'm
coming
going for
back.
two
Keep
different
them coming back.
audiences, I guess,
Yeah.
on that one. I don't know. you know,
It's good to mess around with it, experiment. That's it's definitely
yeah.
something
Well,
you
and
can
it's all about the music. So I
you know
mean,
like I
like I
said,
always say,
just
is when
it's
you're
that creative
rocking an
process, I guess.
audience, the mixing is icing on the cake. Playing the
Yeah.
right music is everything. So that's the number one thing is music. I mean, you could be the best mixing
Yeah.
DJ ever, but if you're not playing the right
Yeah.
music, the audience doesn't care. They don't care how dope you are because they're not looking at it from a skills aspect. They're looking at it like you're not playing what I want to hear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you have to, as you grow as a DJ, you have to learn that it's the
Yeah.
audience. You got to
Yeah.
give the audience what they want, and if you're going to be there getting paid to rock their party, then
Cater to the
you have to
crowd,
give them what you want,
your
or
audience.
otherwise your
Yeah.
name's not going to be good. You're not going to get
Mm-hmm.
hired again. I get gigs from gigs, so people like the way I performed. So I'll get a gig from them, which is a comfort zone for me because now I don't have to
Yeah.
prove myself. They already know what I can do. They're already confident in me, and I know I'm going to go rock their party.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. Well, Jason, man, we might have to wrap this up real soon, man. I can
Yeah,
go on
yeah.
forever. Man, I'm having a lot of fun. Just having you on
Well, it's all
here.
historical
This is
stuff.
man,
We're,
this
we're, we're
some good
creating
stuff
history as
here.
we go.
I love it.
That's what I
This
always
is
tell everybody.
this is
So just keep
yeah,
pushing, and you'll look
yeah,
back and like,
man.
okay, I accomplished this, I accomplished that. You're doing this podcast, and it's just jumping out there and doing it. I've done a podcast with Nocturnal, and that was really fun. And I know we need to do another one soon. And it's just giving the people an insight, some information.
Yeah,
They're going to learn. People that go back and listen to this are going to learn stuff about you. They're going to learn stuff about me, that they may have not have known. You know what I mean? Because it's the podcast gets pretty intimate. You know what I mean?
yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, right, right. Yeah, man. Cause I'm definitely we'll definitely hook up again because there was some other stuff that I kind of wanted to touch on um
Yeah. Well,
with
yeah.
you
Yeah. We'll do a
as far
part
as
two.
like technology and shit. But I think we'll save that for next time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But everyone, support, go out there, support my
Thanks for
man,
having me.
Jason Gulley. I thank him for being on the podcast. Jason, thank you, bro. It's yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
So you can,
Support the shop.
of course, you can
Where can
email me
they
at
contact you if
one.djshopcomcast.net, and that's
if people want
number
to holler
one,
at you?
one.djshop, not spelled out ONE, just number one, stop djshop at comcast.net, www.onestopdjshop.com. IG handle is the same at one stop DJ shop, and of course on Facebook is one stop DJ shop, just like I explained with the number one stop DJ shop.
There it is. Boom. That's right. So go support the homie. Obviously,
Yep,
we're
shop's
in the
still open.
pandemic. You
If they say
you
we're
can
going to
still
close it, I mean,
drop by
I call
the
it
shop,
curbside
right?
pickup
And
if that makes everybody feel better. But I'm still open doing deals. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah, holla at him. Go out there, hit him up, support him. Man, he's a good dude. Yeah. So if you want any information on records, equipment, like I said, follow him on his
Yeah, yeah. And if you see
social
something that
media
is not catching your eye, let me know,
account,
because there's a
and
lot of stuff I
give
don't
him
post that I
drop
do
him
have and
a
get. So
message. So uh, yeah,
yeah, well, no, I'm glad to
Jason,
be part of the
bro, it's
journey,
been
and
a
I'm
pleasure.
glad you're part of my
Thank
journey.
you
So
for
it's
joining
like I
me on
said, we're making history
this
as we
journey,
move, and
man.
much love and respect for you for what you do, and you know, for your DJing and your comedy, and just an overall, you're just an overall great person. So it's I'm very fortunate to know somebody like you. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Yep, sounds
Oh,
good.
thank
All
you,
right, you
man.
guys.
Thank
Later.
you. Appreciate it. Well,
Thank you.
everyone, see you next time. Peace.